Hello my friends and welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with the Vivo Vintage Designs. In the next few weeks you'll see that I will be creating these paintings of vegetables using alcohol ink markers. So this will be kind of like a series. And I'm using alcohol ink markers. I'm keeping these paintings very, very simple and in a loose style so that it will be easy for you to recreate. And all the products used are linked in the description box. If you don't see the box, click on Show More or the arrow pointing down and it will expand. There you'll find a list and links of all the products used for you to get more information on or to purchase them if you'd like. So you can see here that I am using a light pink marker, and what I'm painting today is radishes, and I'm using the light pink marker just to create the outline of the radishes I'm going to paint. And you can go on unsplash.com, find images that you can use for free. You can either trace them or draw them freehand like I'm doing here. This is a very, very loose style of painting, and nothing about this has to be difficult or don't think you can't do this. You absolutely can, because again, it's a very loose style painting. So now that I've painted in my radishes, I'm using this deep red and I'm adding it to the top of each radish that I've drawn with the pink marker. And now I'm going to switch to a light pink marker, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that light pink to the bottom, rather just below that red. So I know this doesn't make any sense yet, but in a moment it will. Just keep watching. And I'm working on Amazon Basics photo paper, and you can see I have a little cup on the right there with some alcohol, and I do have a paintbrush. We'll be using that as well. And we'll also be using fine liners. You can use MICRON pens or whatever fine liners you have in your kit. So now I'm using a paintbrush to blend these colors together. One thing I will tell you is that it's best to have very little alcohol on your brush, so make sure you continue to dab the brush on your paper towel, because if you have too much alcohol on there, it will remove the ink and it will not blend. It'll create blooms. So you'll constantly see me dabbing my brush on my paper towel. And you can see I'm using the tip to blend those colors in. And now that I want it to become lighter, I dip it into the alcohol again, clean off the brush, dab it, and continue to blend downward. Now I can see that I'm going to need to add a little bit more red to the top of these little radishes. So I'm just adding a little bit more red, cleaning off my brush, making sure that it's really dry. And I find that if you start blending from your lighter area to your darker area, you're able to retain your colors better. So that's what I'm going to start doing from here on. Now, if you're using brushes, please don't use your watercolor brushes for alcohol ink. The alcohol ruins the brushes. You're better off buying very inexpensive brushes that are disposable. You'll use them a few times and you'll see that the bristles start to go crazy. Throw them out, get yourself another cheap set. Don't use expensive brushes for alcohol ink. So you can see again, I'm blending in those colors, and now you can start to see the shapes of the radishes. Now, while you watch me blend in these colors, I just wanted to let you know that lately I've been a little bit under the weather, and going down into my studio has become a little bit difficult for me because I'm having issues with my knees. So I may not be able to post 2 videos a week like I normally do. So I've created this series of vegetable paintings, which is really cute and fun, and I'll be posting one on every Friday. If I'm feeling up to it and I'm able to, I will go down into my studio and create an additional video to post on Tuesdays. But until I'm feeling better or I know what's going on with my knees, I'll only be posting 1 video. So I hope you guys understand. I really enjoy what I do, and I think one of the worst parts about having this issue with my knees is not being able to go down to my studio to create these videos, because it's what I enjoy most. Okay, enough about that. Let's get back to the painting. So now you can see I have a very bright green, almost like a grass green marker, and I'm creating the tops of the radishes. So I'm just drawing these lines, the stems, just to create a guideline for me. And again, nothing about this is difficult. You can see all I'm doing is just very sloppily creating the leaves by just going up and down with the marker. Nothing has to be perfect. I'm just adding the leaves to the stems. They barely even look like leaves, but it will all make sense in a moment. So I'm just adding some to the bottom closer to each of the radishes. And you can make these as long or as short as you want. You can add as many leaves or as little as you want. And now I'm using a darker marker because I do want a little bit of contrast in my leaves. And I'm just going to add it here and there. I know it looks crazy, but trust me, it'll all make sense in just a moment. So now I'm taking my brush again, making sure that I dab off most of the alcohol on the paper towel. And you can see I'm just running the brush across these leaves that I've created and blending in some of the color so that it's a little bit smoother. And you can see how they start to stand out a little bit more now. And they have a little bit more depth because I added that second color. Make sure to clean off your brush now and then so that you retain some of the lighter areas and darker areas. If you go over the darker areas and don't clean off your brush, you're only going to transfer it onto the next leaf. So now I'm making sure it's completely dry. And this is where the fun begins, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to use one of my fine liners. And I'm not sure what number I selected, either a 0.4 or a 0.2. And we're going to start outlining. Now here I'm showing you that if you want those skippy, sketchy little shaky lines, hold your marker closer to the end of it instead of towards the tip, because it gives you less control and it gives you those sketchy, skippy little lines that I love so much. So you can see here I'm outlining each of the radishes. You can see how sketchy my lines are. Again, this is a very loose painting. Nothing about it has to be perfect. And now the radishes have those little roots at the tips. So I'm just going to use those same sketchy, skippy little lines to create the roots. And I'm only going to add a few of them. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video where I post a picture of the finished painting, because I have a lot of lights on in my studio when I create these videos. So I don't think that you see the color the way it actually appears in real life. So I always post a picture of the painting, the finished painting, at the end of the video so that you can see what it looks like. It's a little difficult sometimes to see the true painting or what it really looks like when I'm still working on it. Okay, so now I'm using the same marker and I'm going to start creating the stems to these leaves to connect them to the radishes. So you can see I'm just adding some skippy, sketchy little lines here and there. And anywhere I see an open area, so that you can see that the stem continues and attaches to each of the leaves. Now to create the leaves, I'm just looking at a reference photo to see what the leaves look like, and I can see that the tops are kind of rounded. And I'm just making a leaf wherever I see the shape of a leaf. And again, using my skippy, sketchy little lines, keeping it really nice and loose. And I'm going to continue to outline these leaves. And then to add a little bit of detail to the leaves, because right now it looks kind of flat, I'm just going to add some veins to each of the leaves. So I've got the center vein, and then I've got the little veins that come off of that center vein. And you can see they're not straight lines, they're not complete lines, they're skippy and sketchy. And it's just a simple detail that makes a big difference. And now I don't believe that I showed this in the video, but I think I did it after the video. I did add some lines to the radishes. You'll see it in the finished painting at the end of the video, just to indicate the shape of each of the radishes. And you know, like a carrot has those little lines that go through it. I did the same for the radishes, and using the same technique, those sketchy, skippy little lines, and I created the lines to indicate the shape of the radish. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you do give this a try. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do choose to create this painting, I would love to see how you do. You can share it with me on our new Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials, where you can share your versions of the paintings and techniques learned on this channel. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Stick around for a picture of the finished painting, and I will see you on the next video where we will be painting, I believe, carrots. Bye.